Welcome back to RV Capital Talk. I'm Dave Dufour here at RVNN TV, and with me, as always, is Sherman Goldenberg, publisher of RV Business and RVBusiness.com. We've got a special guest with us today, Mike Gast, who is VP of Communications at KOA, and Toby Hedges, who is Director of Digital Marketing at KOA. Welcome aboard, folks.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, you made a lot of changes and a lot of interesting things happening along the way in the last year or so, actually. But I'm going to let Sherm go ahead and take over and ask the questions first off.
Well, welcome as well, Mike and Toby.
Thank you.
On a general plane, I think we should first probably address the year, the craziest weather year any of us can remember, and it's certainly spilled over into the RV park and campground business. How so, Mike?
Well, we've had a couple of really strange years, not just this year. We've had a kind of a flip in our business a little bit. When the recession hit, we've had snowbirds slow down their wintertime, their long-term wintertime camping quite a bit. So for the last couple of years, we've watched our winter business erode a little bit those first couple of months. And it caused quite a lot of concern that first year it happened. And as we got a little bit more used to the change in our business, we realized that people were really going to respond to that affordable family vacation marketing message, because it's true. And we've seen two record summers, both in 2009, 2010, two record summers for KOA. And we're 49 years old this year, so that's saying something. And what we anticipated was more of the same coming into this year, and then of course bad weather, flooding, late season snowstorms, you name it, tornadoes, and so we had a pretty awful start to the season. And currently we're running in the mid-single digits down to last year, but again, last year was the start of a record summer for us. So we're seeing some bounce back already. We are attributing it mostly to weather related. Our big kickoff event in May, Come Camp and Care this weekend, which we've done for 8 years now, was also down slightly, and a lot of it was those last-minute cancellations and people just waiting on the weather. And it's kind of hard to go camping very far if you can't get across those major rivers and the bridges are out and things like that. So it was to be expected, but we know all of our surveys say that it's still the most popular family activity there is and the most affordable. So we think we're gonna see bounce back all summer long now as we catch back up.
That May promotion is not just a commercial venture. It's fair to say it's also an extremely important charitable event, isn't it?
Yeah, we also support KOA care camps for children with cancer, and those are 44 independent camps all around North America that provide a summer camping experience for kids that are undergoing cancer treatment and their siblings. And so we've helped thousands of kids over the past, well before this event started 8 years ago. We've probably been doing this for more than 20 years now. And we've raised millions of dollars from our campers through donations and other means to help send these kids to camp. So last year, for instance, we raised well over $300,000 in this one weekend alone, and ended up donating well over $600,000 total last year.
If we would talk in terms of what's new at KOA, if we would talk in terms of your emphasis for the year in marketing and otherwise, what would be your headlines?
I think it's the fact that camping closer to home is a trend that's likely here to stay. You know, the time starvation that families see now, the normal two-income families, the summer activities that children are in, the pressure from the shoulder seasons as school districts extend into the summer and start earlier in the fall, have all made it so that people are looking for more options of the 3 to 4 to 5 day variety instead of the 2 week. I think that the 2 week vacation is a rarity now. I don't know of hardly anybody that does that. So we had to change our marketing and change the activities on our parks really to accommodate that, because people are looking for a great place to stay, pack in a lot of activity and a lot of fun in 2 to 3 days, and so we've had to change the way our campgrounds operate just to accommodate that.
Another emphasis I should add, because I'm kind of aware of what goes on at KOA, is your shift over the past, 2 or 3 years, to a focus on destination camping.
Yeah, we had and really that probably didn't serve us well. Those when the winter campgrounds stopped so much traveling to the south and spending extended periods of time, because that's really where we were ingrained in the Florida, Texas, Arizona, California belt with long-term destination type camping. What you're referring to is more the family destination camping, where they're going someplace and setting up for 2, 3, 4 days and probably not leaving the campground. And that behavior really led us to be much more activity oriented. We've got several campgrounds now, several dozen campgrounds that have recreation programs in place, so that that there's something for the kids to do practically 24/7.
And you're also providing them with
they check
lodging.
in almost.
And you're also providing them with lodging type accommodations that plays into that, correct?
Yeah, and we found out some interesting things. We've had cabins, of course, the basic cabins for almost 30 years now. The typical beds and electricity, no water type cabins, and there's over 4,000 of those in the KOA system alone. But what we wanted to do the last few years is open up the campgrounds to somebody that wanted a little bit more luxurious stay. And so we added lodges, which much of the industry knows as park models. And we added lodges in a big way. We've got them at well over 260 of our campgrounds now, and almost 350 units at those parks. And it's really added the campground experience to an entirely different marketplace. The folks that don't want to sleep on the ground in a tent, don't own their own RV yet. One of the interesting things we found out, Sherman, and just in the last few months, is that people are starting to use these lodges as an extension of their RV. We've got people showing up on campgrounds now, and they're so happy because they can bring their brother and sister, or they can bring mom and dad with, and they get to stay in the lodge. They'll still bring their RV. Everybody will come in the RV. They'll park the RV nearby, and mom and dad will stay in the cabin or in the lodge and have their own accommodations. So we've been able to allow our campers, our RV campers, to share the camping experience with somebody that just wouldn't be able to experience it otherwise.
What percent, Mike, does KOA, would they like to see in the best of all worlds into this kind of a lodging accommodation?
Well, our business has always been roughly split 80% RVs, 10% lodging, and 10% tents. When the economy kind of took a dive, we saw tenting bubble up a couple of percentage points, and now the same is true with lodging. It's a very hot part of our business. A lot of this growth we've had, almost to the tune of 22 to 24% growth in our lodging, is due to the fact we've got so much more inventory out there. It's kind of hard right now to compare same camp to same camp, but we've seen a huge growth. They're the first things to sell out on a campground on a weekend. Of course, they have a high occupancy rate, and I don't know of an owner that regrets putting lodges in and wishes they could do more.
Right. Do you find that the lodges are you getting like first time RV, or people who haven't really done the RV lifestyle before but are sort of trying it out in your lodges?
Absolutely. I think our industry saw a lot of people during the recession that came down to our market, I guess I could say. The folks that typically may have taken their family on a plane trip to a resort at Disney World, or they took a cruise with their family. They just decided that wasn't feasible anymore, and they were looking for other options, or the close to home came into play. So it's very nice to see that people that stayed home the night before are finding their way to a KOA. We track that pretty closely. Since 2004, when we first measured that question, where did you camp the night before? 42% in 2004 said that they camped at home the night before, so they had to be camping close to home. Mm-hmm. And last year when we measured that, it was 58%. So we've seen that sort of growth in that camping closer to home trend.
Great. All right. Well, we will be back after the break with more from Mike Gast and Toby Hedges at KOA. So stay with us here on RV Capital Talk.
For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to RVNN.tv.